At 70, strength is not vanity. It is survival, the ability to rise from a chair without using your arms, to carry groceries from the car, to climb a flight of stairs without stopping halfway, to catch yourself when you stumble instead of falling, to live independently in your own home on your own terms, rather than depending on someone else for the basic tasks of daily life. Every one of those abilities depends on muscle, on the quantity, quality, and functional capacity of the muscle tissue your body still carries. And after 70, that muscle is under siege, from a process called sarcopenia that is stripping it away at a rate of 3 to 5% per decade, accelerating with every year of physical inactivity and every day of inadequate nutrition. But here is what the research has established clearly, across dozens of studies, in populations ranging from healthy active adults to frail nursing home residents. The foods you eat every day are the most powerful, modifiable variable in whether that muscle loss is rapid or slow, whether it is resigned to or resisted, whether your strength at 75 or 80 reflects your age or defies it. 7 specific foods, eaten daily or near daily, backed by peer-reviewed science, starting today. Food number 1, the muscle foundation. Eggs start here every day, 2 eggs. And I want to tell you exactly why. Eggs are arguably the most complete muscle-building food in existence for adults over 70. Not because of protein content alone, though at 6 grams of high-quality protein per egg, they deliver well, but because of the specific amino acid profile and the unique nutritional matrix that makes that protein extraordinarily bioavailable to aging muscle. The key amino acid here is leucine. Leucine is the specific amino acid that acts as the primary trigger for mTOR activation, the molecular pathway that initiates muscle protein synthesis. Think of leucine as the key that starts the engine. 2 eggs contain approximately 1.1 grams of leucine, approaching the 1.0 to 1.5 gram per meal threshold that research identifies as the minimum required to overcome anabolic resistance in older muscle. But eggs do something beyond protein that no isolated protein powder replicates. The egg yolk contains choline, critical for neuromuscular junction function, the connection between nerve and muscle. It contains vitamin D in its most bioavailable dietary form, and vitamin D deficiency is independently associated with accelerated sarcopenia, with studies showing that supplementation improves muscle function in deficient older adults. It contains lutein and zeaxanthin for retinal health, and it contains zinc, essential for the hormonal signaling that supports anabolic response. A study from the University of Illinois found that whole egg consumption after resistance exercise produced significantly greater muscle protein synthesis than egg white consumption alone, with the yolk's nutritional matrix amplifying the anabolic response in ways that isolated protein could not. This confirmed that the egg is not just a protein delivery vehicle, it is a complete anabolic package. 2 whole eggs daily, scrambled, poached, boiled. Preparation method matters less than consistency, paired with something else from this list for maximum synergy. From the most complete protein package to the one most directly associated with slowing muscle loss at the clinical level. Food number 2, the leucine leader, canned sardines or wild salmon. I am combining these because they share a mechanism, and because their combined accessibility covers almost every person watching this video, regardless of where they live or what their grocery budget allows. Fatty fish, specifically sardines and wild salmon, deliver 3 things simultaneously that no other single food category provides for aging muscle. First, exceptional leucine-rich protein. A 3-ounce serving of wild salmon provides approximately 22 grams of complete protein with a leucine content exceeding the anabolic threshold for muscle protein synthesis in a single serving. Sardines, 1 small can, provide 18 to 20 grams of similarly complete protein at a fraction of the cost. Second, EPA and DHA, the long-chain omega-3 fatty acids that have a direct, documented anti-sarcopenic effect independent of their anti-inflammatory benefits. Omega-3 fatty acids, EPA specifically, sensitize aging muscle to the anabolic stimulus of protein. They essentially help reverse anabolic resistance at a cellular level, making the muscle more responsive to the protein that accompanies them. A study from Washington University School of Medicine found that omega-3 fatty acid supplementation in older adults significantly increased muscle protein synthesis rates, with the mechanism operating through enhanced sensitivity of the mTOR pathway to leucine. The omega-3s and the leucine worked synergistically. Together, they produced a muscle-building stimulus neither produced alone at the same magnitude. Third, vitamin D, again in its most bioavailable form from fatty fish. Wild salmon provides approximately 400 to 600 IU of vitamin D per serving. In a population where 70% of older adults are deficient in vitamin D, a nutrient whose deficiency independently accelerates muscle loss, this is not a secondary benefit, it is a primary one. Sardines 3 times per week, wild salmon 2 to 3 times per week. These are not expensive commitments. A can of sardines in olive oil costs less than a single protein supplement serving and delivers superior muscle nutrition. Food number 3, the daily protein anchor, plain full-fat Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt belongs in every discussion of daily muscle nutrition after 70 for one reason, above all others. It makes high-quality protein genuinely convenient on days when cooking feels like too much effort. A 6-ounce serving of plain full-fat Greek yogurt provides 15 to 17 grams of complete protein, with a leucine content of approximately 1.2 grams, comfortably above the anabolic threshold. It provides calcium, critical for the muscular contractions that both signal and use muscle protein synthesis. And it provides live probiotic cultures that support the gut microbiome diversity associated with reduced inflammaging, addressing the chronic inflammation environment that impairs muscle anabolism. The full-fat version is specific and intentional. As I discussed in my diabetes video, the fat removal from yogurt eliminates the macronutrient most responsible for slowing gastric emptying and sustaining the amino acid release rate into circulation. Slower release means more sustained muscle protein synthesis stimulation. The fat also improves the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, including vitamin D, present in the yogurt's natural matrix. A study from Maastricht University found that dairy-derived protein, specifically casein, the predominant protein in yogurt, produced a slower and more sustained amino acid release profile than whey, making it particularly effective for overnight muscle protein synthesis when consumed in the evening. Older adults who consumed a protein-rich dairy snack before bed showed significantly greater overnight muscle maintenance than those who did not. The practical daily habit: a bowl of plain full-fat Greek yogurt with a handful of blueberries and a few walnuts. That combination delivers protein for muscle, polyphenols for brain and vascular health, and healthy fat for absorption and satiety. It takes 2 minutes to prepare. It requires no cooking. Food number 4, the inflammation extinguisher. Extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil is not a protein source. I want to be transparent about that. But its role in the daily diet of an adult over 70 who is trying to maintain muscle is so well established and so mechanistically important that excluding it from this list would be a significant omission. Inflammaging, the chronic low-grade inflammation of aging, directly impairs muscle anabolism through inflammatory cytokines, including TNF-alpha and IL-6 that interfere with the mTOR signaling pathway. You cannot build or maintain muscle efficiently in an inflamed internal environment. Reducing that inflammation is not secondary to muscle nutrition. It is a prerequisite for it. Extra virgin olive oil's primary bioactive compound, oleocanthal, inhibits the same QX1 and QX2 enzymes as ibuprofen, producing an anti-inflammatory effect that, at therapeutic daily doses of 2 to 3 tablespoons, reduces systemic inflammatory markers measurably and consistently. A study from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that long-term extra virgin olive oil consumption was associated with significantly lower circulating levels of IL-6 and TNF-alpha, the primary cytokines driving muscle protein degradation in sarcopenia in older adults, with the anti-inflammatory benefit most pronounced in those with the highest baseline inflammatory burden. A second study from the University of Jaén found that high phenolic EVO specifically, raw, cold-pressed, high quality, reduced inflammatory markers of muscle breakdown and improved functional strength measures in older adults over a 12-week dietary intervention, 2 to 3 tablespoons daily, raw over salads, vegetables, cooked fish, drizzled over eggs, used as a dipping oil, not heated to high temperatures that destroy the phenolic compounds responsible for the anti-inflammatory effect. This is not cooking fat. It is daily medicine. Treat it accordingly. Food number 5, the bone and muscle partner, plain whole milk or fortified plant. Alternative, this recommendation comes with context, because milk has been the subject of more conflicting dietary advice than almost any food in modern nutrition. And for muscle health specifically after 70, the evidence is both specific and clear. Milk, specifically whole milk, provides the calcium-protein partnership that is uniquely important for aging musculoskeletal health. Muscle contraction depends on calcium, bone integrity depends on calcium, and the combination of calcium, phosphorus, vitamin D present naturally in milk or added to fortified alternatives, with complete protein in a rapidly absorbable liquid form, makes milk one of the most studied post-exercise anabolic beverages ever examined. A study from McMaster University, one of the world's leading muscle physiology research centers, found that whole milk consumption after resistance exercise produced greater muscle protein synthesis and greater muscle mass gains over 12 weeks than soy protein matched for caloric content in older adults. The researchers attributed this to the combined effect of the dairy protein's leucine content and the fat matrix enhancing amino acid absorption kinetics. For adults who do not consume dairy, due to intolerance, preference, or ethical choice, a fortified soy milk is the evidence-based alternative. Soy protein is the only plant protein with a complete essential amino acid profile and a leucine content approaching dairy protein's anabolic threshold. Ensure the product you choose is fortified with calcium and vitamin D and provides at least 7 to 8 grams of protein per 8-ounce serving. A glass with meals, particularly with a protein-rich meal at dinner, when overnight anabolism is occurring. The combination of whole food protein from fish or eggs, plus the dairy protein and calcium of milk, creates a muscle maintenance environment that the aging body can work with through the night. Food number 6, the anabolic trigger, lean beef or bison. 2 to 3 times weekly red meat has been the most politically charged food in nutritional medicine for 30 years. And I want to give you the specific, geriatric-focused evidence rather than the broad, population-level messaging that often obscures more than it reveals. For adults over 70 specifically, with anabolic resistance requiring higher leucine thresholds and complete amino acid profiles, lean beef is one of the most potent muscle-building foods available. A 3-ounce serving of lean beef provides approximately 25 grams of complete protein with a leucine content of approximately 2.1 grams, exceeding the anabolic threshold by a significant margin. It provides creatine naturally present in red meat, which directly supports ATP regeneration in muscle cells and has independent evidence for improving strength and muscle mass in older adults. And it provides zinc and iron in their most bioavailable forms, the heme forms found only in animal tissue. A study from Texas A&M University found that older adults who consumed lean beef as part of a resistance training program gained significantly more muscle mass and strength than those consuming equivalent protein from plant sources, with the creatine and complete amino acid profile of beef identified as the primary differentiating factors. 2 to 3 servings per week. Lean cuts, sirloin, tenderloin, ground beef at 90% or higher lean content. Bison, which I've described in my diabetes video for its superior CLA content and lower saturated fat, is an excellent alternative where accessible. This is not a daily food, but it is a 2 to 3 times weekly anchor for the amino acid and creatine inputs that aging muscle specifically benefits from. Food number 7, the plant protein powerhouse, lentils and chickpeas. The final food addresses the plant protein side of the equation, both for the population who doesn't consume animal products and for everyone else who needs the fiber, the prebiotic benefit, and the cost accessibility that legumes provide. Lentils and chickpeas occupy a unique nutritional position. They are the highest protein plant foods that also provide substantial fiber, which feeds the gut microbiome diversity that directly reduces inflammaging. They provide magnesium, which supports the muscle contraction and relaxation cycle, and is deficient in approximately 45% of older adults, and they provide a substantial leucine contribution, approximately 1.3 grams per half-cup cooked serving of lentils, that while below the full anabolic threshold of animal protein alone, contributes meaningfully to total daily leucine intake. A study from the University of Toronto found that replacing animal protein with legume protein in the diet of older adults produced equivalent muscle maintenance outcomes when total daily protein targets were met, but significantly better gut microbiome diversity and inflammatory marker outcomes than the animal protein diet alone. The practical application: combine lentils and chickpeas with a complete protein source at the same meal, eggs, fish, or dairy, to ensure the combined leucine content meets the anabolic threshold. Lentil soup with a poached egg, chickpea curry with sardines mixed in, hummus alongside hard-boiled eggs as a snack. These combinations deliver the fiber and microbiome benefit of legumes with the complete anabolic stimulus of the animal protein alongside them. Half a cup of cooked lentils or chickpeas at least 4 days per week. Affordable everywhere, easy to prepare, and doing something in your gut and your inflammatory system that the animal proteins on this list cannot do alone. Here is the complete daily eating framework for muscle maintenance after 70. Every single day, 2 whole eggs, morning preferred, when anabolic sensitivity is highest. 2 to 3 tablespoons of genuine extra virgin olive oil, raw over food, not high-heat cooked. 1 serving of plain full-fat Greek yogurt, morning or evening snack. 1 glass of whole milk or fortified soy milk with a protein-rich meal. 3 to 4 times per week, fatty fish, sardines, wild salmon, or mackerel as a protein anchor at lunch or dinner. Half a cup of cooked lentils or chickpeas, combined with a complete protein source at the same meal. 2 to 3 times per week, lean beef or bison for the leucine, creatine, zinc, and iron that specifically support aging muscle anabolism. Total daily protein target: 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight, distributed across 3 meals, not concentrated in one. Muscle protein synthesis requires leucine threshold to be reached at each meal, not just total daily protein. This means each meal should contain at least 25 to 30 grams of protein from the foods above. The supplement you don't need, a protein powder to replace these foods. The supplement worth discussing with your physician, vitamin D and B12 if blood levels show deficiency. Because deficiency in either directly impairs the muscle anabolism these foods are trying to support. I want to close with something that matters more than any single food on this list. Strength after 70 is not a gift. It is not luck. It is not primarily genetics. It is the cumulative result of the daily decisions, the food on the plate, the movement that challenges the muscle, the sleep that repairs it, the information that guides those decisions, that either support or undermine the biology of muscle maintenance. Every person watching this video who is over 70 retains the capacity to be stronger next year than they are today. The Tufts University study I described, 87-year-old nursing home residents gaining 174% in muscle strength in 10 weeks, was not conducted on exceptional people. It was conducted on ordinary people given the right stimulus. You have the right information now. You know the 7 foods. You know the daily targets. You know the mechanism behind each one. The only thing left is what you put on your plate tomorrow morning. Start with 2 eggs. If this video gave you something real, a food to add, a habit to begin, a framework to share with someone you love, please consider subscribing. Every week I bring you this same quality of honest, specific, evidence-based guidance with nothing to sell and everything to give. Next week I'm going to cover the specific resistance training protocol, backed by the same Tufts University research, that produces the greatest muscle strength gains in adults over 70, requiring no gym membership and no equipment beyond what you already own. The exercises, the frequency, the progression. Everything you need to make the nutrition in today's video work at full capacity. You'll want to be there for that one. Until then, eat the eggs, open the sardines, pour the good olive oil. Your muscles are listening, and they are more ready to respond than anyone has told you.